Welcome to another dope episode of HKW Breaking Ground. I'm your host, LOGICDGC, and we finally made it to episode 10, the go-home show before Battle Tested. I don't know what's going on around here, but with a world title shot just one episode away, PDG is not taking any chances. HKW, meet DAREX. Oh, and he'll be in action tonight. Cool-ass Percy Reeves runs into OG Pee-wee backstage and lets him know that he spoke to me, and thanks to his undefeated single streaks, he had a spot at Battle Tested. Percy continues and lets Pee-wee know that the way he took it to me, he definitely deserved to be on the card as well. Pee-wee, feeling like he's finally getting his just dues, agrees and accepts Percy's challenge. Personally, I think Pee-wee's 1-2 record is what really made Percy choose Pee-wee as his battle-tested opponent. I did want to include Percy, so I greenlit the match. Leon addresses the finest. Oh, what a shame to see what you've become. A bunch of losers. But you know what? You're in luck because that's exactly what we're looking for to go up against at Battle Tested. They want us to defend against unworthy opponents that aren't ranked. So by process of being total failures and disappointments, Lovecraft and Hate will defend the HKW Tag Team titles against Motherland's finest at Battle Tested. Losers, complete losers. I would normally want to book the best records for the title, but since we're still in the grace period and regardless of records, I think this rematch will be a lot harder than Leon and company think, especially with Terrence on this proving ground mission. Breaking ground!
It's that time of the week and I'm glad you're tuned in. It's time for storytelling, stories told in a cube ring. We breaking ground, that's just sort of our thing. Making stars out of cars, all trying to get the pin. Body slams and suplex, don't get hit with a super kick. Turn the chops to the chest, anything for the win. Yeah. This is HKW, so stick around while we break ground. It's what I would do.
This is breaking ground. 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 This is breaking ground.
My goal here is not to book talent for the go-home show if they are booked for the pay-per-view. This is to avoid any potential injuries that could derail a big-time money match. And it also gives other competitors on the roster TV time. But Tamia convinced me that BTF were trying to make a name and impress. She said they wanted to send a message to the entire locker room, so I sanctioned it. I made it an open challenge to anyone not on the pay-per-view, and the debuting Native Son stepped up to the plate. We saw Azaro last episode losing a singles contest to Percy Reeves. Let's see if he fares any better teaming with his mentor, indie legend Wolf. But unfortunately, a warm-up match is all this was, and Native Sons will have to wait before they grace the win column. BTF looks more than ready for Battle Tested. The question is, how ready is enough against Viking Warriors? Last episode, Jade was able to pick up the win against Skylar Wesley. Ruth will try to avenge the loss in this budding rivalry. We're still waiting to see if either team will be major players here at HKW. Tonight, it was Ruth that was able to overcome the barrage by Amaya to pick up the win and even things up between the two teams. I'm sure a tag match is somewhere on the horizon, but let's see if they continue to impact the singles rankings first. Angelina Melendez of Team WOW addresses the crowd. One episode from today, Team WOW will be in our first championship match in HKW. Two stay-at-home moms who decided to try their hand at something new after attending a pro wrestling-inspired fitness class together. Katie adds that they've built a pretty decent brand in the indies, but this would be their first title run. But before she could say anything else, Strong and Sexy interrupted from the stage. Azra tells Team WOW how dare they speak as if it was a sure thing that they would win the titles at Battle Tested. Angela chimes in agreeing with Azra. You're right, Azra. At best, all they'll accomplish is a title shot in the future if they pin Percy's Angels. Because they damn sure ain't pinning one of us. Then up on the Titantron, we see Percy's Angels. Team WOW, Battle Tested won't be your night, says Frankie Fox. And it will either be Angela or Azra that gets pinned for those titles by either me or Maria. Deal with it, ladies. This could end up being one of the best matches in HKW's short history. Wow, we just witnessed how heated the women's tag team division is. And here are two more teams that in time can add to that temperature. Another great match proving how deep the women's division truly is. Pinky Swear is just a bit more seasoned and able to pick up their first win in HKW. Heart Condition will have to wait a little longer for their first W. I start my promo off by letting the fans know how grateful I am for their amazing support in these first 10 episodes of HKW Breaking Ground. I let them know that it hasn't gone unnoticed. And for that, I was gonna give them a show to remember. Just one episode away. I then let them know that the ticket sales have exceeded the capacity of our current hall and that Battle Tested was now gonna take place at an arena. I begin to read off the card. At the buy-in, we'll have both men's and women internet titles defended. Two undefeated competitors in Champion Revenant and Challenger Rage will battle it out for the Internet Championship in a match that some feel is long overdue. Revenant will also defend his tag team title along with his partner El Diablo against the struggling Motherland finest. We'll also see Becca challenge Reina Reyes for the Internet Championship. Will Becca walk into her match for the world title against Lolo, still the Internet Champion, or is Becca gonna hold gold for the first time in HKW? HKW World Champion Twister will put his championship on the line against the more than capable PDG. Will DAREX be enough to keep the masked assailant away? The three-way ladder match for the women's tag title will surely rip the roof off the arena. Will Strong and Sexy retain, or will one of the two powerhouses, PERCY'S Angels or Team Wild, walk away as the new champs? Then a match with nearly 1,000 pounds of man meat will take place to hopefully settle this beef between two giants, Goliath and Sideburn Sam. We'll also see the Viking Warriors take on Big Time Factor, cool-ass Percy Reeves up against OG Pee-wee, the women's four-way Bizarro Land match to determine tag team contenders. Katrina Black will take on Calamity, and Sanson will battle Cooper of the Modern Day Country Boys. All matches have early rankings implications. It's gonna be a great night of combat sports entertainment with great matches and tons of surprises. So all I gotta say is, don't meet me there, beat me there. I signed Mark Thunder at the request of Scott Storm and the world champ Twister. This adds a tag team Thunderstorm with Scott Storm and the trios team Rain. With how good the other two have been, I had no problem signing him. Plus, do you see the size of this guy? Another giant joins the ranks. Travis Baker is starting to gain experience with each match he's booked for. He's mainly a tune-up match for most, but his dedication is starting to make him a guy you don't want to take too lightly. Even though Travis put up a better showing, it was Mark that was able to pick up the victory in his debut. Another advantage of the go-home premiere nights is that we get to see more competitors that have been chomping at the bits to get on the show. Another fascinating debut are the mixed tag team of Buckshot and Eve of the Pride. This is a division I'm also eager to grow, and maybe even add titles so that the talent take it seriously. I put them up against Chloe Watson and KALEB CRUZ of the Terrible Gentlemen. I think they have a new tag team name for them two specifically, but we'll find that out soon enough. The Pride were very impressive as a mixed tag team, and I'm hoping they can be the pillars of the division while also chasing their singles career as well. A fun match that ultimately sees the Pride pick up the win. Outside of Lolo, Becca, and Reyes, there hasn't been a clear-cut threat in the women's singles division. Hopefully this contest between Katrina Black and Calamity will do just that and elevate one to the next level. Katrina addresses the HKW audience before her first pay-per-view. You know, when I broke my leg and shattered my knee, and my dreams of playing in the WNBA were snatched from me, I was in a really dark place. Katrina explains that it was during rehab she rediscovered her love for pro wrestling and was persuaded to try out if she still had that competitive fire. Katrina continues, "So Calamity, Battle Tested is an important and crucial moment for me. I respect you, but there's zero chance you walk out victorious." Calamity walks out onto the stage and lets Katrina know that this too is her redemption story. And maybe she didn't miss out on a WNBA career, she knows exactly what losses feel like. Calamity walks all the way in the ring and gets in Katrina's face. "If you think your will is stronger than mine, at Battle Tested, you're gonna be sadly disappointed." So in the words of LOGICDGC, see you next episode. Let me find out I gotta copyright that. As a favor to PDG for the attack by the masked culprit, I booked his guy DAREX, who is also part of the highlight reel, PDG's stable. PDG wanted to send a message that those attacks from behind weren't going to be tolerated anymore. And DAREX wowed me right away. He definitely looks like he could be a major player here in HKW. He sends a clear message to not only the mass attacker, but to the entire HKW locker room and picks up the win against the unfortunate Ricardo Mendoza of the Mendoza brothers. Man, that eye creeps me out. Yo, my bad to BLASIAN for failing to mention her when speaking of those separating themselves from the pack in this women's division. At 2-0, she's right up there with the current Big Three mentioned, since episode 1 in the Mega Clash. I had high hopes for Kendall, but being the first elimination and so quickly, it appears to have had an emotional effect on her which kept her out of action for 9 episodes. Kendall put up a better show and good effort, but it was not enough against the BLASIAN sensation. It looks like BLASIAN is truly done with the tag division and is now 2-0 and knocking at the singles contenders tier. I hope this was a positive step for Kendall to getting where I'm sure she feels she should be. In the final showdown before the championship match at Battle Tested, both PDG, the challenger, and Twister, the world champ, were face to face. PDG informs everyone that he is more than capable of handling his own issues and that DAREX was just there to watch his back from meddlers, and that's why DAREX is outside the ring. PDG continues, letting Twister know that he hopes he is enjoying the last few episodes as world champion. After next episode, PDG will be bringing the HKW World Championship home to the highlight reel faction. Then, it's the internet and tag titles. I don't know who's trying to stop the inevitable, but it's not going to save your little title reign. But what's really happened is that they have accelerated the plan. Twister butts in, seemingly insulted by the insinuation. PDG, I've condemned the attacks on you. If you think I'm somehow involved, I'm not. But regardless what you think, the era of Twister is just getting started. The two were staring each other down intensely when the lights go off. Backstage, I'm freaking out radioing the light crew. They finally come on, and when they do, we see PDG and DAREX both laid out with the champion still standing in the ring. Was this the master sailing again? Did he really take out 2 guys in seconds? Man, make sure you tune in next episode for our first ever pay-per-view, Battle Tested. All titles will be defended, rivalries will come to a head, big announcements and big surprises are in store. Not to mention leaving our studio and moving into an arena, baby. So until next time, see you next episode.